Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome to you all. Today inshallah we're talking about fasting, the fourth or fifth pillar of Islam and the act that is mandatory upon us in Ramadan. What is fasting? When we talk about fasting, fasting has many different meanings. In the Arabic language, for example, fasting can be used when not speaking, preventing someone from speaking. Like Maryam ﷺ said, verily I have sworn to Allah that I would fast. إِنِّي نَذَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنْسِيًّا. However, in the Islamic text, fasting is worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal by refraining from things that breaks one fast, from sunrise until sunset. Allah says in the Quran, O you who have believed, Siyam has been prescribed and made mandatory upon you as it has been upon those before you, so that you may have taqwa. Taqwa is that you may, here means, taqwa means so that you may be God-fearing. Taqwa is doing what God ordered you to do, obeying His commandments, and refraining from that He has forbidden you from, staying away from that He forbid you from. Fasting is one of the greatest acts of worship. Allah Azza wa Jal rewards us greatly for all our deeds. However, we get especially high rewards for fasting. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Allah Azza wa Jal said, every deed of the son of Adam will be multiplied from 10 times till 700 times. So you do one good deed, you may get the reward of doing 10 or of doing 700. Allah said, except fasting, for it is for me and I shall reward it accordingly. Meaning that you get more than 700 times the good deeds for fasting. Allah said, He has given up, I, Allah's slave, His desires and His food for my sake. Prophet ﷺ also said, indeed, there is a gate in paradise called Ar-Rayyan, through which only those who fast will enter on the day of resurrection. No one will enter this gate except those who fast. After they have entered, this gate will be closed and no one else will go through it. Another hadith that mentions the blessings and reward of fasting, Muhammad ﷺ said, a single day of fasting fi sabilillah, in the sake of Allah, takes you away from hellfire 70 years. Muhammad also said, fasting is a shield with which a servant protects himself from hellfire. That is the great reward that we get for fasting. It's one of the greatest deeds that you can do as a Muslim in general. This is about fasting generally. In Ramadan, when it is mandatory, it is even more important and it is more rewarding. Allah Azza wa Jal said, my slave does not get closer to me by anything more beloved to me than what I have made mandatory upon him. So doing mandatory things is always better than doing sunnah mustahab things. Therefore, mandatory fasting gets even more rewards than this fasting we're talking about, which is general fasting. Muhammad ﷺ said, if one of you fasts, let him not utter bad words and say bad things on that day or raise his voice. If anyone tries to annoy him and to pick a fight with him and to anger him, let him say, I am a person who is fasting. This shows that one aspect of fast is being good. Not only staying away from haram and from things that break your fast, but having good manners. Some people get extremely angry when they fast, which is an evil thing, and a Muslim should not do that. Prophet ﷺ said, whoever doesn't leave evil words and deeds while fasting, Allah does not need for him to leave his food and his drink. Look how Allah Azza wa Jal described this person's fasting as leaving food and drink, and didn't describe it as fasting. That is belittling the fasting that he is performing, for he hasn't performed it in the correct manner. Okay. We now know what fasting is, and we know the reward of fasting, and we know that we must be on our best behavior while fasting. We mentioned in our definition of fasting that fasting is staying away from things that break our fast. What are those things that break our fast? They are the following. First of all is intercourse. It is the most serious manner in which someone may break their fast, and it invalidates the fast. And built on it is a special punishment, you could say. Prophet ﷺ was, a man came to Muhammad ﷺ and said, O Messenger of Allah, I am doomed. Muhammad ﷺ said, why are you doomed? He said, I had intercourse with my wife during the day of Ramadan. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, can you free a slave? Do you have the financial means to free a slave? The man said, no. Obviously nowadays we cannot free slaves because slaves do not exist. So the first option is taken away from us. Second option is, can you fast for 2 consecutive months? 2 months fasting non-stop without breaking them. The man said, no. And the Prophet Muhammad then said, can you feed 60 poor people? The man said, no. They are the 3 things which you can do to expiate the sin of breaking your fast via intercourse. You either free a slave, or you fast. If you can't do that, you fast 2 continuous months. If you can't, you then feed 60 poor people. You cannot go to the second if you can do the first, and you can't go to the third if you can do the second. So if you have the ability to fast 2 months straight, you cannot go and feed 60 poor people. Next is masturbation. This evil habit breaks one's fast. Allah described he who fasts as giving up his food and drink and desire for Allah's cause. For Allah's cause and for Allah's sake. He who performs the act of masturbation is not leaving his desires, and it breaks his fast. Next we have eating or drinking. Anything that enters your mouth or your nose, and through that means enters your stomach, is considered food, except for certain exceptions. Okay? Anything that reaches the stomach via the nose is like eating. Fourth is things that take the ruling of food. So things like transfusion of blood when one is fasting break one's fast, because it feeds you and gives you strength and sustenance just as food does. Likewise, if you have a needle or a drip that puts some kind of liquid or food or nutrients into your body that feeds you, you then are not fasting. Kidney dialysis or washing of the kidneys may be considered something that breaks fast if, when the blood is returned into your body, added to it is some form of sustenance or chemicals like sugar and salt, so on and so forth. Next is cupping. He who cups and he who is cupped has their fast broken, as Muhammad ﷺ said. The cupper and the one who cups, the cupper and the cupped to, or the one whom the cupping is done to, have both broken their fast. Likewise, donating blood may fall under the category of cupping because of how it weakens one's body. Vomiting intentionally breaks one's fast. Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever vomits intentionally, he has to make up his fast. However, he who vomits unintentionally does not have to make up his fast. And this is a matter that the scholars have agreed upon. He who vomits intentionally has to make up his fast. Lastly is the blood of nifas and the woman's period. Muhammad ﷺ said, when a lady fasts, is it not that she does not pray? When a lady is on her period, is it not that she doesn't pray nor fast. These things that break your fast: eating, drinking, intercourse, vomiting, cupping, all the things we mentioned, they break your fast, except of course the last one. If the person does it intentionally, without being forced, and knows that it breaks one fast. If he is ignorant, then it does not break his fast. We ask Allah to bless us with the ability to fast this entire month. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.